G'day, I'm Simon, this is Mike.
Hello.
And this is the video where we answer the question, what is the opposite of vegetables? I'll show you how it works. What is the opposite of onion? Well, let's break it down. Yo, what's the opposite of... No. So we break it down. What's the opposite of on? Off. What's the opposite of I? You. What's the opposite of on? Off. Higher when, sorry. Obviously, your voice gets a little bit higher when you work out the opposite of a vegetable. It's very exciting. The opposite of onion is, of course, off you off. At the end of the video, I'm going to actually show you what the opposite of vegetables is. So you got to wait around. Next! My clicky finger's a bit off today. Not off you off, that's the opposite of onion. Sorry. What's the opposite of carrot? The opposite of car is walk. And the opposite of rot is fresh. So therefore, the opposite of carrot is walk fresh. Don't we all? Next! What's the opposite of radish? Well, we all know that radish just means like a little bit rad, like a little bit cool. So obviously the opposite of that would be a lot dorky. Speaking of a lot dorky, it's disco time. Next, what's the opposite of cauliflower? This is easy, right? Okay, collie is a type of dog, like a collie dog. And the opposite of a dog, of course, is a cat. And what's the opposite of a flower? A stick? The opposite of cauliflower is cat stick. Next. Right, what's the opposite of broccoli? It is, of course, sister, not murder. Because bro is bro. The opposite of a bro is a sister. The opposite of killy is a little bit less killy. It's not, don't murder. Don't do the murders. Next. I love doing these. The opposite of celery is, of course, a lot like an attic. Because celery is a little bit like a cellar, and then a lot like an attic would be the opposite of a little bit like a cellar. Next! It's time for today's prize. Today's prize will suit the rage-filled secret vegan within us all that loves to cut our grandfathers just a little bit. It's these parsnips. The opposite of sweet potato is, of course, sour plate, vomit fingers. The opposite of sweet is sour. The opposite of pot is, of course, a plate. Maybe. The opposite of 8 in potato is, of course, vomit. And the opposite of toe is fingers. Next! The opposite of bean is, of course, coming soon. Because it's been and gone. Peas and corn. Rhymes. Gotta be true. Next! The opposite of peas? War! Next! The opposite of tomato is, of course, finger wholesale finger. I'll just let you sit with that one for a moment. The opposite of toe is finger. Mart. The opposite of mart is wholesale, because you go to a mart, you buy things individually, right? So the opposite of that would be to buy things in wholesale. Yeah, these are the rules. I just made them up right now. And then the opposite of toe on the end of toe is finger. You say tomato. No, I say tomato. You say tomato. But that would be wrong. Let's call the whole thing off. Next! Okay, the opposite of spinach is, of course, stationary. What is it? Stationary, not itchy. Because spin, the opposite of spin is to stay still. The opposite of itch is not itchy. Maybe it should be like still scratch. Scratch that. The opposite of spinach is still scratch. Itchy and scratchy show. Wonder if any of the young kids remember Itchy and Scratchy. Next! Okay, the next vegetable we're trying to work out the opposite of is, of course, corn. This is a husk of a joke. Whew, the opposite of corn is, of course, surface. The opposite of core is, oh no, it's not. No, it's not. I know what it is. Hold on a second. The opposite of core is crow silence, because the crow's not making the caw sound, of course. And then you've got the little N at the end, because it's crow silence. Next, the opposite of a Swede, someone from somewhere else, who's not from Sweden. Next! Okay, I promised I'd tell you what the opposite of vegetables is, and the opposite of vegetables is, of course, -5, middle of the table. Because, of course, V is the Roman numeral for 5, and the opposite of 5 is -5. On the edge of the tables is the opposite, is the middle of the tables, because you're not on the edge of the tables, you're in the middle of the tables. So the opposite of vegetables is, of course, -5, middle of the tables. Thank you so much for breathing, and remember, be kind, be curious, and stay awesome. But unfortunately, we've run out of time.